Hello everyone, this is Claudia from babaspa.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use kind of minimum supplies and also make the pattern paper work for you into making some really Christmas cards. These are really easy to do and you don't really have to think a lot about how to embellish them because the pattern paper actually is already made for you. You already have a place where it says to and from, so you don't have to stamp that. And I'm using this long front 6x6 paper that comes in a SSS stamp kit, and I'm going to cut all those little, let's say, cards. I think they're 1.5 inch by 3, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have some measurements on my blog post if you want to check. And then I'm cutting from SSS stamp wood grain paper. I'm cutting some bigger panels, and I think I cut them 2 inches by 3 or 3.5, and I can get the 5 out of it. There were 3 more in the set, but those I wanted to use for a different project because it didn't have the to and the from, so I couldn't really use them for the tags. I just used the ones with the to and the from for the tags, and these are very simple tags to do. All I'm doing now is distressing the edges of this wood grain paper, and I'm using this paper just because it gives a nice texture to the tag and it will make it really fun. So I'm going through all these panels, and when you're doing this many tags in a row, you want to do the same step in the same time. So you don't want to do one tag and then complete that one and then move to the other one, but just if you have to ink some edges, ink all the edges at one time and cut all the panels at one time, and so on and so forth, because that's easier. Now I'm trying to figure out kind of how much I need to cut, and the first one I use a T-square ruler to make some marks on the sides, and it's about 1 centimeter from each side, and then I eyeball cutting of the edges also for the inner panel. And I'm cutting, you can use a square punch if you have one. I don't have one, or you can just very easily use your grid mat, make some marks there, because they can very easily be removed afterwards, and just cut your tag shapes. Of course you can use any other tag shape die or whatever, but for me it's very easy to make these tags like this. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I think you don't need a die cutting die to make this kind of tags. I'm erasing everything, and now I'm just going to adhere all of them together, and before I do that I corner chomp the bottom corners with the 1/4 mark, not with the 1/2 inch mark. And now I'm deciding which tags go onto which panels go onto which of the tags, and I'm going to start adhering everything together. So far everything is quite simple. You let the paper work for you, and I've noticed a lot of the paper kits lately, or even 6x6 bag, they always have a sheet of these tiny cards with writing on it that you can transform into tags. I think most of the time they're used for journaling, scrapbooking, but you can very easily do Christmas tags with it. And I think it's very inexpensive, and you don't have to spend much time thinking about your composition and everything, because it's already done for you. So now I'm using my crocodile, and I'm eyeballing somewhere in the middle where I'm going to cut. I'm cutting 1.5 centimeters down, and the crocodile has marking, so I always know that I'm cutting downwards the same. Now I needed some thread for my tags, and I'm cutting, this is some lawn front trimming that was in a previous kit I think, and I'm cutting 5 of them. I'm just going to thread them up and making sure that I have enough room there so I can tie it on a present or whatever I'm going to decide to use this one for. So pretty easy to do, and all you need to do is now decide if it actually needs more embellishments or not. You can do sequins on it. I wouldn't suggest more stamping because it already has stamping, but what I decided to do is to play around. I had this box of wood veneer snowflakes for a very long time, and I almost never used them because I never knew where I'm going to use them. So now I decided, okay, since I have this box and it kind of sits there and I never use it, let's use it for this tag. And I'm just going to decide which tag is going to have 2, which tag is going to have 1. You can see that the tags that have the 2 Christmas ornaments, because it's already a big stamp, I only put 1 snowflake, and the ones that just pattern paper, I put 2 of them because it needs more interest. And I'm using the multi-medium matte from the kit to adhere these ones. You just need to give it a little bit time to dry out. So as a last touch, I was looking for some glitter to just put on top of my snowflakes, because I thought that the wood, well, it needed something, some wow factor on it. So this is kind of it. As a reminder, the product links, the products that I use for making these tags are listed on my blog or in the description of this YouTube video. So if you want to have the supplies, you can look them up. If I don't have something particularly listed there, it means that I didn't find somewhere online where you can find them. For example, the snowflake dies I found on a second-hand shop actually, so I don't know what firm was it that it was made from or who made them, so sorry for that. That was kind of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos. There are going to be more in the Christmas, for the Christmas holidays, and see you next time.